while. Last time we met, you guys met with Zlaya's friend, who was a pawnbroker. His name is Eldarin, and he told you that the items that you found back at the fish at the docks appears to be one of the Queen's brooches that have been missing for quite some time. He recommended that you guys would take it back. And, I mean, he himself would not really touch that type of merchandise just because of how valuable it is. He does not think you'd be in any trouble, but it's not really good for a shopkeep, especially one of a pawnbroker, to hold something so important. So you guys stayed. So you guys stayed over at his place. So right now it's daytime. There's still some commotion in the streets from the riots and the king's death, but for the most part there isn't any heavy rioting. There's still some crowding in some areas and a little bit of mischief going on, a little bit of disarray, but it's not as bad as it was yesterday.
What I was going to say is, if I remember correctly, we were talking about finding someone's friend in the guard and seeing if he could help us get the necklace to the rightful owner without immediately being arrested in prison for its theft in the first place. Someone to kind of vouch for, we found this. I'm a murdered guy.
Yes, that was also brought up. Although I apparently did not write his name, because that was lost when my computer decided to restart for security.
Notes are stuck under something. So.
Did we decide that somebody had a front end guard? Yeah. We speculated that perhaps someone did, but did we resolve that?
I believe we did.
Yes, there was a guard who would occasionally see her. I just don't have his name written down for some reason.
Joe Bob, the guard.
There you go.
Those are the kind of contacts we want.
Yeah, we kind of need someone on the up and up.
Who amongst us isn't on the up? Not me.
Yeah, no, I think the hobgoblin is the most respectable.
That is really, you gotta question who you're grouping with when that's going on.
No, that's right.
He's definitely the most honorable out of your lot.
Certain values of honor.
That's true. So you guys wake up,
including beheading. Well, I say we approach this guard and see if he can help us get this brooch where it belongs, and us not anywhere we don't belong. Or at least don't want to be.
Get it out of our hands, see if there's a reward. Yeah, not press our luck, but...
Yeah, mostly stay out of jail. Reward is cool.
Are we good on this?
I think we have to be. Yeah, I don't see that we have any other play short of waltzing up to the front door and asking if there's a lost and found.
Yeah, we kind of went over this. I felt like we had decided that nobody was really keen on this plan, but I don't think we have a better choice given the circumstances.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, onward for great justice.
So you guys are gonna leave the pawn shop and then head towards the.
Oh, does anybody want to buy anything at the pawn shop before we waltz into certain intrigue?
I might be curious to see if there are any useful potions or alchemical ingredients in the shop. But that would be that's really all I might need. That makes me a crossbow. I kind of doubt it, but it's something I'd take a look for.
So Alvarin takes this information. He looks around, kind of just massages his chin. I don't really deal with potions. My last shop kind of exploded the last time I took in such goods. So I don't really try and pull anything that is tied to alchemy. I apologize.
My elven friend.
He looks around still and he's like, tries to see if there's any ingredients that might be helpful for actually making potions. And he's like, that looks a little dead. Looks around, like, no, there's rot. Oh, there's rot growing off of that. No. And he just shakes his head. He's like, I'm sorry.
No problem. Later on, you know a guy, let me know. I'm always curious.
I will definitely keep
very kind. Very kind. Good luck for you. Good fate for you.
Thank you.
I don't think I'm in need of anything at the moment. So I'm good to go whenever everybody else is.
Yeah.
Alright, so as you guys leave the building, he instructed that the person who is the friend of Zalara would be near the the western tower that leads into the castle. So you guys make your way there, and then you see a half-orc in not really the most pristine armor. You can't really... It's not really like the most exotic of armors. He looks sort of like a militia. And there's other guards there who look of maybe more genuine status than he. They're standing in front of one of those one of the gates. It's just it's like a tall archway that leads into the castle grounds. Because of the trouble, the gates for that entryway is actually down.
Are they, is it a checkpoint? Are they preventing people from going through, or are they just kind of milling about?
They're standing very attentive right in front of the gates. They're kind of trying to keep... They're definitely keeping an eye out for what's going on around them. You can sort of take in that there is still uncertainty in the air of what's really going on with the general populace. Because, I mean, there was just a riot the day before.
With a profession soldier role, could I determine who's boss here?
Yeah, sure.
See if I can remember how to do this. I don't think I did that right. Did I do that right?
Do you have a 4 in soldier?
Well, a 3 plus 1 wisdom.
Oh, yeah.
Here's my good dice for the day.
Um,
A meaningless protection check.
so, while the half-orc himself is in, pieces of armor that's not all there, you can see that there's sort of like metal plates on his left shoulder and it's strapped down. You can tell that he's obviously not the one in charge. The one to his left is wearing more fully armored. He has legitimately clean plate armor that is going down from his neck to his torso, and then he's wearing sort of like a chainmail leggings. He's holding a polearm, which at the very edge of the wooden fixture, there is a crimson sigil that drapes down at the end of a piece of cloth. He looks as though he is of higher rank. You presume that he is possibly the gate commander.
Well, I'm going to convey that information to my compatriots, knowing my limited social skills. And I will be right back. Gotta get rid of these dogs.
Okay.
Does anyone know religious representative who in the court? I feel like that's Elemon's.
Yeah, I mean, it's unlikely that I would know anyone well-ranking because I wasn't really deeply involved. But
All we need is a name. Oh, I'm wondering if perhaps the news of the red ape we saw yesterday might not be a useful reason to come into the to get past the guards. I've got my doctor's mask and I am a healer.
I'm pretty sure that's
The
why.
latest of plans, but it is one.
Sorry, I'm back.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Gobble was the half-orc that I named.
Pondering schemes to get past the guards. We know that there's we've got I'm proposing
Me?
doing my doctor shtick. But if you'd like to volunteer, don't know how much sway you'd be able to have. But I don't mean to second guess you. Go right ahead. Start feeding my chicken.
Well, when at a loss for a story to tell, perhaps the truth. Be a little vague on where it came from and the whole beheading element.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how we hedge our bets about the difference between telling the truth and not here, because I don't think we can tell the whole story.
No, I don't think we. I guess my suggestion would be we tell substantially the truth, however, leave out the specifics on where it came from, but that it came into our possession. We want it to go back where it's supposed to. We had no part in its disappearance.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. Who feels up to chatting?
Well, this is not a diplomacy. This is a bluff. So I respectfully decline.
I mean, I lie all the time, but I'm not particularly good at it.
I'm inclined to suspect that Aiden has the highest bluff check.
Aiden, good luck. Gonna do a fortune hex on you.
I'm kind of saunter behind Aiden and kind of elbow him in the back.
You'll get to roll this check twice.
For pacing reasons, I'm probably gonna type it, so it makes sense.
Okay.
It's just easier so that way I don't really outpace Kalmar. So. For scenario 6, I have you guys sort of away out of, so like, you guys are sort of where the buildings kind of end, and the road starts going toward the castle keeps. So, kind of want to also describe how you approach the guards, stuff like that. Because the guards aren't really paying attention to you guys right now. You guys are sort of still in the areas between, you're still in the actual, like, busy parts of town.
So I suggest we sort of canter or saunter, probably not sashay, our way up to the guards, and sort of shove Aiden unceremoniously in front of us to do the talking. Probably canter, less than.
Gagul is Bushi is a halfling.
If you're going to be technical, Gagul is pretty convinced that he's a hairy little goblin.
Bushy doesn't see much wrong with that.
Someone's microwave is done.
Or their house is on fire.
Or that.
6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Notice how I got brought into the conversation. Well, hearing my name, I'm going to card it rather than stand behind the elf, I'll go stand next to the elf. Act like I know what I'm doing. Oh, I knew the dark. Okay. I'm gonna go with this whole I know the outlook. That's cool. Just tell them that we found it. Show them should we show them the amulet? Yeah.
Ooh, ouch.
More road trains.
Based on my earlier soldier role, would I have any idea of what rank or title Mankirk would have?
Yeah, you just know that he's at least a sergeant, but he seems to be sort of like the gate captain. He seems to be like the only person in this area that has some type of looks of authority.
Well, since I seem to be the focal point of their conversation, I'm going to try and steer the conversation back to the Queen's brooch by speaking to the captain, addressing him by rank formally, and advising that we found something that we believe belongs to the Queen. And then show him the brooch.
So he takes the brooch from your hands, looks at it, tries to kind of see how the sun reflects off of the gems that are on it. And how, Pretel, did you come across this?
Is he speaking to me? Is he speaking to?
It's an open question. I mean, you both are approaching him with something of value.
Can we sense motive on his intent behind that question? Is he approaching us like we're criminals when we?
No, yeah, go for sense mode. That's perfectly fine.
Okay.
I've only got 5. I have no modifier sense motive.
Will do.
You're able to detect that he has great concern. He doesn't really know either of you, but based off what Gobble has been saying, Gobble may be a legitimate person. Because he was turned away from the guards, though, he doesn't really know what would have caused that. So he's unsure whether you are really the material that he would find honorable.
Right.
So if anything, he's just mostly curious. He's not really suspecting of any particular way of, you being deviants or not.
Does anybody other than myself and Bushi speak Goblin?
I do not.
Okay. Well, I'll respond to Bushi's prompt and address the captain and let him know that during the riots, we came into possession of this. We did not participate in its removal from the Queen, and our only motivation is to see it returned to where it properly belongs.
Roll me a bluff, since you are sort of lying a little bit.
I don't think there was anything in there that was factually untrue.
It's not necessarily about whether it's untrue, it's about whether or not you're trying to like settle down.
Let's see.
And this is why the Hopper Goblin should not be doing the talking.
So, Macrick takes into consideration this information and he tries to think of the activities that happened last night. He looks at you and says, "Fair enough. It is mostly important that this is returned back to Her Highness. She lost this item, and it was a brand new gift from our king, who, rest his soul. Something like this would probably bring much delight to her, given her recent losses." He takes one final look at it. He wants to make sure that it is authentic, and he looks at you again. He hands you the brooch, and he asks you to wait 1 second. He turns back to the gate of his men, and he starts to whisper to him for about a minute or so. While this happens, Gobble is trying to size up every single person in the party. So Magric returns, and he says that if you could just wait a few more minutes, we would like to authenticate this brooch. Obviously, with the trouble that happened yesterday, we're a little cautious of who we allow into the inside the gates for the castle, and we just want to make sure that someone will be able to actually identify the item that you that you claim that you have. Let's see.
Do we trust him to take it away?
He's handed it back to you guys. Like
He
he's
handed it back to us.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, sorry.
so the beast is following the person who walked off from the gates. Beast only can detect positive and negative energies, right? He can't actually deliver telepathic. You're muted, or something.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Josh.
Yeah, Josh, you're doing this, but we're not hearing you.
There?
Yes,
Is that better?
yes.
That's better.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, it's like a psychic connection, so I imagine it would be positive, negative energy, aggression. If there were like suddenly 30 dudes coming out to kick our asses, I suspect I'd know that, but I would if it were just him coming back being like, yeah, these guys throw him in the can, my guess is I wouldn't get that.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure that like he can tell you exactly what's going on, because in my other campaign I have a sorcerer, and they're familiar. You can't really talk to them directly, but they can
it takes a couple levels for that to happen.
Okay. Alright, cool. So, as the other guard walks away, the beast is, following. You can feel as though the beast is sort of overwhelmed, but not necessarily with in a negative manner.
Busy. Okay. Just being cautious, not paranoid.
So after a few minutes, the guard returns, but there is another person with that guard. It is a female who is wearing full scale mail, and she is holding a gigantic two-handed sword that is curved and hooked at the end.
Bigger than everyone in the party.
Most likely, yes. She signals to the person standing above her, and the gates slowly rise up. It opens up just enough for her to get through, and so she's now in front of the gates. You see Gobble and Mankrik sort of straighten up. She looks at them both sternly, and Gobble sort of has little beads of sweat. He's a little intimidated by this figurehead that's appeared. Mankrik, salutes, and she returns a salute back. She turns to who has the brooch?
Not it.
I think.
I was assuming it'd be Aiden or Goggle.
I think since he was speaking to me last, perhaps he handed it to me.
Okay.
Presumably Goggle unless we hear otherwise.
So she points at to you and faces Mankrik. She's like, this one? And Mankrik gives a very stern yes. Yes, ma'am. The female turns to you, walks up to you, right in front of you. She looks directly at your eyes and tries to size you up, see if, what type of of a person you truly are.
I'm not going to, I will quietly meet her gaze momentarily, then avert my eyes as would be appropriate to someone of obviously superior rank.
So as she sees your reaction, she just puts her hands, behind her back, crossed, and she's looking at the rest of the group. She puts her gaze back on you, and she says, "I am Sabina Marin. I am in charge of Her Royal Majesty's Guards. You are the one with the brooch?"
She's speaking to me?
"Yes."
Yes, I am.
"May I see it?" And she puts her hand out.
I give it to her.
She gazes at it, tries to look around at every single angle, looks back at you. "So you found this in last night's riots, huh?"
We acquired it in last night's riots.
Well, this is definitely Her Queen Majesty's item. She decides to put it in her side satchel and looks back at you. "Do you want something in return?"
I'm gonna pause and try and look at anybody who's willing to meet my gaze to try and help me answer this question. And then I'm gonna pat my little hairy goblin on the head for stepping up and answering the tough one.
Good. The rate 8. It is not uncommon for there to be outbreaks in times of great unrest. But I am no doctor. I only care that there is order in the streets, and that my queen is safe. You want compensation? Doesn't helping your kingdom count as compensation enough? These are trying times. The fact that you were able to do something good for your royalty should be good enough. I would be open to letting you meet the Queen. I'm sure she would actually be very pleased to meet the people who brought back something as precious as this gem. And she pats her satchel, knowing that it's finally safe. She turns back to Mankirk and Gobble, gives them a nod, turns back to the gate that was already closed after she's passed through it, and signals the guards that are on the other side to open the gate once more. She starts walking toward the gate and she motions back, or she turns back to all of you, and then just motions for you guys to follow her.
I'm going to mumble under my breath loud enough for all of us to hear it. Sheath your weapons, and then I'm going to follow at a respectful distance.
So you all excuse me, pass through the gateway. Most of you, well, actually, I would assume all of you have never seen the castle. After you pass these tall castle walls, you see that the keep is not really your traditional type of royal palace. It's sort of looks it looks closer to a pyramid that has sort of had fortifications built around it. You see a long stairs that go up, and there's a bit of flat land on top. So you guys go up the stairs, and then as you reach the top, you see that it is as if the pyramid itself was cut in half, and the top layer is sort of where like more of a traditional castles from that part. You guys assume that the pyramid structure was from an old whatever civilization was actually here before Corvosa was actually founded, and then they were building on top of this pyramid structure a more traditional keep. So you guys, let's see, where's my other description of the castle? Okay. You guys pass a flourishing garden, has with a centerpiece fountain, and the fountain itself is, normal water, and in the middle of it is a replica of a pyramid that what people think it looked like before it was sort of disassembled. You guys reach the main keep, which has its own set of tall wooden double doors. Oh god. And then she slowly brings you into a great hall. It is very open, but it is also very dark. A lot of the windows are covered with actually crimson satin curtains. And then the middle of the floor is also a crimson rug. So you guys are walking on the red carpet. Yay! On the top, you see two thrones. One is a bit more illustrious than the other one. You see in the more illustrious one a person wearing, a black gown and a veil in front. Sabina walks up, talks to this person, and whispers, and there's a decent amount of space between you and the actual raised platform that the throne is actually on. Along the sides of the carpet are actually some of the guards as well.
Are we a distance where if we were to be addressing the Queen, we would be too far away, or are we like as far up as we would? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're definitely able to notice each other. You're, I would say, 30 to 40 feet from each other.
Okay.
Is that Josh?
Scratching my head.
I don't know.
I think your mic was rubbing on your shirt.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
There we go, yeah, that's what it was.
Where was it? Okay. So Sabina goes into her pouch, brings out the brooch, hands it to the figure in black. She looks at it and turns away, and then looks back at it again, only to have her hands cover her face for just a few moments. She looks up and turns to you. Sabina says, starts to kind of console her, and then turns to you and says, This is your queen. This is Queen Ilosia. Yeah, Ilosia. Oh yeah, sure.
Do any of us have any idea on proper etiquette when meeting royalty? I sure as heck don't. I mean, do we need to like prostrate ourselves on the floor?
I don't know if there's a custom in this particular jurisdiction, but I assume it would be appropriate to bow.
Ooh, that's cool.
So Sabina sort of smirks, says, Good. I'm glad to see you all know a little bit of respect. The queen removes the veil from her face and says, This brooch was stolen from me some time ago. I had not expected to see it again, truth be told. And yet, here, on some of the darkest days that has come to me ever, you come and bring me this kindness. The return of this brooch is much more than an honorable deed. I am greatly appreciated. It is also an inspiration. It is hope. I love Corvosa, as my husband did before me. And she starts to get caught up in the moment. You know, there's a few tears that are starting to materialize around her eyes, and it's pouring, and they're starting to drip down her face. His death was has shocked the city as it has me, but I will not see his legacy destroyed in death. No, no, no. I shall see that my city stays whole. All Corvosa stands at the precipice of a disaster wrought by her citizens. These riots, this chaos, it cannot continue. We must be, we must rebuild and remain whole, remain one people. You have already done my heart a great service in returning this precious item to me on, again, a very dark day. You shall be rewarded. Yet perhaps you are willing to also serve your city more directly. You have helped heal me, and I would hope you would help heal this fair city. If you would so choose to be of service to this great town, or this great land, I will see that Sabina will help make sure that you get escorted here properly. And then she will send you to down the way to Citadel. I will have to spell this word out because I won't butcher it. Volscienic. I will send word ahead of you to Field Marshal Cressida Croft, and I will let her know that you are on your way. The Ravosian Guard is stretched thin, and it can certainly use the aid of heroes such as yourselves. Now, please, what would be your answer?
Capital L, lawful.
A smile springs to her face. I am greatly delighted to hear this, that you are going to answer the call of your beloved city. Please excuse me. I must retire. The grief that has been weighing me down for the last day is just fatiguing me greatly. I thank you for your kindness that you have shown me, and I hope that others in this city will learn from your example. She pushes the brooch, to her chest, as though, she's giving it a hug, essentially. And then you just see her. So roll me perception. Well, you all can roll perception, really. Amazing rolls. Yeah, you're in the throne room. I would say Galgul hears some words that she's whispering to the brooch. She only hears two words, and it's return and husband. She's not able to make out the full sentence that was being muttered to the brooch.
Is it in a common tongue?
Yes. So Sabrina rests her hand on the queen's shoulder and just says, "It will be okay, my queen." She steps down from the platform and then turns to you four and says, "If you are ready, we can leave these grounds and I can help you to your assignment."
Is that the first time she's used the word assignment?
I think
Yes.
that's the first time I've heard that word.
Okay, that's alright. I want to make sure I had missed something there.
I thought she said sentence at first. It's like,
Well, this whole concept of free will is kind of escaping us now. I think we are playing in water deeper than, well, at least half of our party. I'm going to quickly fall in step and be a good soldier.
Yeah, I feel like we're kind of stuck. Like, we asked for this audience, we pretty much have to at least run with it for now.
There may be stops on this train line, but we're not there yet.
So she guides you all back outside to the castle grounds. You see her write a letter that was given to her by one of the guards as she left the building. She finishes writing it and she hands it back. And she says, "Have this delivered to the Citadel as soon as possible by carrier falcon." The guard salutes her and runs off to one of the towers. She escorts you back to one of the gates. She motions that the gate be open, and so it does. And then she says, "Out this way would be the Citadel that you have agreed to assist. When you get there, please give Cressida my regards. I know she is doing as much as she can out there."
What was the name you just said? Cressida?
Cressida Croft. She's in the manual. So I presume she's well known enough that we would have heard her. She's the field.
Don't call Laura.
So you guys can. Is there anything you want to do? I guess on the way to the Citadel.
Say that again.
Is there anything particular you wanted to do on the way to the Citadel? Like, did you guys want to find anything?
Not burning down as we speak. The city's not burning down as we're hanging out here.
No. There's still some crowding going on in some areas. You're unsure whether or not things have truly settled down.
I'm used to being broke. I have my chicken in my cage. I'm good.
me see.
Yeah, I don't have anything I need to do.
I'm double checking the map real quick to see if this is.
Is this like a 3-hour tour, or how long are we?
It won't take you long to get there. I just wanted to see where. If I actually have the destination correct in comparison to. Alright, well, never mind. Anyways. Okay, because I just wanted to give you guys a chance to, if you wanted to go anywhere or do something before we went to the next area. And, okay, yeah, that's something else. Alright, cool. So, you reach the Citadel. It is not really like what you expect. It's kind of like a watchtower, like a fully functional guard tower. The doors to it are slightly ajar. You guys peek in and after just a few rooms, whatnot, you see that it's actually pretty empty. There's not many men or women here. You find a room and you see a female figure hunched over a table, sort of muttering to herself.
I'll walk up to her and hand her the letter of introduction that we have.
When you guys try to get her attention, she seems sort of startled. She wasn't really paying attention and didn't realize that you were actually there. She turns to you, sort of embarrassed because she is a guard and you have snuck up on her in such a way that is unbecoming of her status. She accepts the letter, reads it over, and looks back at you and says, "Ah, yes. So you are the ones that the Queen has sent. Greetings. My name is Cressida, and heroes of your caliber are exactly what Corvosa needs right now. You've been on the streets. You know better than I how bad things were out there. It is breaking my heart to see my town, this city which I have grown up with and I have tried to defend day after day, tear itself apart. Every single bit of aid that we can get to hold this city back and restore it back to its original honor, its glory, would mean a lot to me, and I am glad to see that you are stepping up. You are fine citizens. I would.
We're simply proud citizens of Corvosa and honorable folk all. What he's saying.
The city is, and she looks around, tries to make sure that no one's eavesdropping or is really around. She takes a look at each of you and tries to make sure that she could have some type of that she's able to share some type of information with you. There are those in the city who are not really okay with the choice of royalty that we have. Our city has been known to have its change of royalty quite often, but the Queen is not someone who has won the hearts of many in this town. She is not the Queen's, or the previous King's first wife. and she is what some consider only here for the royalty, not for the people.
This is what's wrong with you humans. You're so concerned about your hearts. If the queen has the strength to rule, then she rules. And who are we to say anything else?
Whether her reputation is damaged or not in this area, it's not truly my concern. I'm more worried that people are going to take advantage of the situation and are going to cannibalize the city from within.
And when that happens, it's always the poorest who suffer most.
Truly, truly.
Then it is our duty to be your queen's strong right arm and prevent such things from happening. Or to bring justice to those who would commit such acts.
Well, you see, Corvoso has had enough troubles as it is, but as much as it pains me to admit, is already several of my men have actually gone rogue. Many guards have started to desert their posts, as in certain areas are still very hectic and very violent. Some are just more concerned about, their personal families than the city itself. Some have taken them and left. Some of them are just not returning to their posts the next day. And it is having its effect on more and more of the guards. As you can see, this keep itself is very bare-boned. Most of my men are out there policing the streets for more hours than a normal man should be able to survive.
What is it that you would have us do? We could see the deserters, we could patrol the streets.
But I imagine you don't need us just for patrolling bodies.
You are quite a student.
Sure, can't see far.
There is one man, his name is Varric Van Casterston. I will spell it out.
One word.
He is worse than just a deserter. He has actually convinced several of his fellow guards that the queen is going to ruin the city. And whether or not she does, or whether she does or doesn't, is never the point. You are part of the city guards, and you must help protect the city from chaos. As I said, we are in a crisis, and we need all the guards to be vigilant and be loyal to the people that they have vowed to protect. I'm worried that the example that he is setting will spread to the other guards, and that they will also slowly drop their weapons and leave our ranks.
How did the guard punish desertion and sabotage?
It is very true that if we stop him, we are not fixing the true problem, but we need to be able to start with something, and the city needs to start rebuilding itself from within. If the guards themselves are not able to set an example, then who are the people going to confine in? If they cannot confine in the guards, then they will just go into further chaos. There will be more stealing in the streets and other mischievous acts, which will always be a problem. And even worse if no one really can put their faith in us. I am in a weird position because I can't necessarily send my men to take out former guards. I would not want my men to feel as though they are in a position to stop a previous friend of theirs, or, you know, an overzealous new rank or new person in our rank feels like he has to prove himself by taking a blade to him. Oh god, my Steam, I need to turn it off real quick. Or at least mute it. Okay, Steam is now muted. Let's go. Would you be open to hearing? Would you be open to using your? And she looks at you and notices, you know, you guys look like you've seen some combat. Looks like you've handled yourselves well in the past couple of days. Would you be able to use your own talents to help me with this problem?
I can slowly detect. The gnome is speaking.
Yeah, I'm suspicious, but I don't think we have a choice.
Yeah.
This follows directly in the footsteps of what we already agreed to, so.
Right. And down the line, if it looks like we're gonna need to jump sides, Gal will need some convincing. She's born and bred to follow orders, and going against that's going to be hard for her to swallow.
So you all seem to agree, unless actually, let me see. Josh has the input.
Along the same lines.
Okay, cool.
Smooth tensions.
She looks at you all and she looks at Galgul and says, I know that you, out of all these people, are eager to help the guards and want to be a guard. I think I can help make that happen. Should you assist me in this?
There was never any doubt if my queen, if I consider myself a resident of this town, if my queen asks me to help, who am I to do anything other than help? If my task is to help you, then I will help you.
You are quite the noble one. You would make a fine guard. So now that you have all agreed to do this, I will provide you with the information that you need to know about Varric. He and his men are holed up in an abandoned butcher shop, just up the way. It is right next to the North Gate, a place that is called All the World's Meat.
I don't want to go there.
No sense in my idea, guys.
I would like you to check this place out. I would try to avoid avoid killing any of the deserters if you can, but if you must, they have brought this upon themselves. For Varric himself, I would prefer if you could capture him alive and return him to me so I can interrogate him properly. I would like to know if he is the source of many of my guards leaving their posts. I will accept his body should he provide resistance to you trying to capture him. If you're able to figure out why he deserted, I would just be fine with that information as well. I would need to know. I will be able to provide you some. Oh, actually, I forgot to mention that you guys got some items from bringing back the brooch.
We
Let me see if I can find
looted and we didn't even know it.
I actually meant to ask about that earlier, but in addition to items, we were going to do experience, I think, as well this session. Because we did last time.
I don't think we've done experience yet.
No, the way I usually do is instead of going by straight experience, I let you guys know when you level.
Okay.
Because it's like
I love
easier.
us math. I like that.
Yeah.
So
Because like it's
I can live with that.
because a lot of times I throw random stuff at my players. So if I give you sort of a skill challenge or just a side adventure, I don't have to calculate experience gains that might throw off like everything. Because it's always weird when you when you have a campaign and you have side adventures and then you give rewards that offset a lot of the balance, and then having to retune. Like I retune a lot for my groups, but having to do that and try and redo CR values and levels and stuff like that makes it wonky sometimes. Especially like if you guys start. Yeah. Where was it? Oh yeah, so you guys each received. I'm sorry, you as a group received 12 gold ingots for turning in the brooch. The ingots themselves
are not coins.
No, they're royalty. They're like coins, whatever. Here's some
big ass heavy pieces of gold.
Yeah.
And you get an ingot, and you get an ingot, and you get an ingot.
And each of them actually have a seal of Corvassa, so they are very much part of the royal treasure.
Do we even have a guy that we can pawn this off to?
Cool. I'm sure I can find someone.
Where was that? So Crusada says that if you are able to bring him alive to me, I can give you even more of a reward. I think the information that I would be able to pry from him would be very valuable to the guards and trying to figure out what is going on in the streets. She. She says that by the time you return, I will also be able to provide you guys with some small items that would be useful to all of you. I will have to make arrangements for them, so it will take some time. But I think by the time you return, you all will be very pleased with what I can provide for you.
Is there any weaponry in the watchtower that we can use?
She takes a look at each of your inventories.
I got a chicken, there's some feathers, you want some bread? I got a lot of bread.
I'm thinking more along the lines of I maybe perhaps would be better off using something with a bludgeoning capacity.
Yes.
A dismembering capacity.
Fair enough. I will provide you weaponry, but I am worried that they will notice the craftsmanship and that you were sent from one of the guards. What I could probably do is, and she goes over her inventory, just her book of it, and talks about what's actually in the keep. She asks you to stay here for one moment, and she walks off. After a few moments, she comes back with this. Nah, actually, I don't think about this. What I want to give you guys. I just want to make sure I know how this item actually works before I give it to you. Because it doesn't work like the way I think it does. Okay, whatever. She goes to Galgul and she says, "You seem to be the most fit out of all of these people. You also seem to be the most honorable." She passes you, essentially. She passes you a. Make sure I'm actually spelling this right, or not spelling it, but I'm calling this the right thing. I want to say it's a blackjack. Is that what you would use to, like, knock people out? I'm pretty sure I have it right. Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah, it is blackjack. Okay. I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, she passes you a blackjack. She says, "This was actually found from the raids last night. I don't think anyone's going to think that you're from the guard if you were to hold such an item. But it would definitely could be used to incapacitate Varric, should you be able to get close enough to him and incapacitate him. Yes, that would work fine."
I look quizzically at the blackjack, say, awfully small.
But so are you. And yet you handle yourself quite well.
Like it.
So when you guys feel as though you're ready, you may leave and go to the butcher's shop. I have not been around that area, as I do not want to cause commotion by guards being there. I do not know who he has under his employ, or how many of the guards are going to be there. It would be worse if I got cited and they were to just take up and choose another location for their whatever they are, doing. I do know that this place is open day and night, so whichever time you choose to to approach is up to you.
Are there normal, decent citizens, civilians coming into this place?
Because of the riots themselves, food is starting to become kind of scarce. No one is really. People are starting to hoard. Should the city fall into worse conditions? Here at the butchery, they've been actually providing people with food. So there have been many people in the area who would go to this place to win what seems to be a lottery and be fed.
One more thing to be careful about.
This is Varric. Is he a human like yourself?
He is. I suppose I should help describe Varric, just so that you.
Hey, I suppose we should know what we're looking for.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is indeed a human. He is about normal height. From what I've heard, he is actually still wearing his guard's uniform. So he's wearing like a chain shirt with a gray cloth overshirt with that kind of drapes down past his waist. He has a large leather buckle that goes across the chest. He will probably, if he is still wearing the arms that he was heavily trained in, you will find him with a pike and bow. Not at the same time, but a pike and bow.
Not till level 4.
I am not aware that he is trained in any form of magic. He was just a good combatant, and I would expect him to at least put up a good fight.
Oh.
I cannot say much for the men that he has taken to his group. No, there was no one stationed here who was good in any magical arts.
But it could be.
They could. Very resourceful.
She said there was something about a lottery giving people food. Did I hear that correctly?
Yes. So if you guys are, I guess, done with her Okay, you guys are talking about. I was gonna say you might want to talk about how you want to approach.
Yeah.
Like when you want to.
Okay, is this the plan? I like the plan.
Okay, so make sure I understand what you guys are trying to do. You guys are going to recon during the day?
Yeah, and then figure out whether we can approach them by daylight or need to go in after dark.
Okay.
Does not Alf Aiden, do you have like disguise skill or anything like that? Thinking maybe go in under the guise of being a beggar, begging for food, and seeing what you can make of things. I don't think I would be an appropriate participant in that venture, given that I apparently have a reputation amongst the guards as the washed-out hobgoblin.
Next on cops.
As opposed to those other hobgoblins in the guard.
I can sneak like a mofo, but that's about it.
You don't even need a disguise, well, little brother.
No, I just. Oh, I see what you're saying. You're not wrong. It'll work. I'm fine. I've done it before.
So we're probably have enough time to do a recon. So if you guys want to do that real quick, or because like there's like 10 minutes left, or you guys want to just hold off.
Yeah, I gotta bounce around time, so give me a call on that, I guess.
So we can just hold off on that then, because the recon might be really interesting based off what happens.
Fair enough.
I can sneak, but I can't really look at things so good. So
I'm gonna write down on my side that you guys are planning to recon during the day, just so I don't forget.
I posted in the thread, but are we going back to our schedule playing next week, or are we
No, we're gonna skip next week because,
Thanksgiving.
yeah, that thing.
Thanksgiving was 6 weeks ago, you dorks.
Not America.
America.
I think, let's see, hold on, because the next week would be the
So
4th.
we'll bi-weekly starting today then.
Well, the good thing about the so if we skip next week, we skip over American Thanksgiving, and then we'll play on the 4th, and then we'll play on the 18th, and then we'll skip Christmas.
Right, we'll take off the...
So like right now we're pretty much we're well aligned to skip all the holidays, but we'll also probably have to take take off
New Year's.
yeah, probably New Year's.
First, yeah.
So I think we're
Unless we could all roleplay having not hangovers.
we'll see how all that works. But yeah, I think if we go going every 2 days, every 2 weeks from today, we're in a good spot, so we don't have to switch out stuff.
I'm okay with that, and that way I also if we do the